security and the way that it's going right now, looking at terrorism and the Boko Haram insurgency, because that is an aspect of security that's been quite a challenge recently. Would you say that in spite of the state of emergency declared and the other bombings that continue to happen, how would you say that this has to be tackled now?
You are too, excuse me, Ijoma, you are too fast. You are too fast for me. If you can slow down so I can get your question clearly. And before you go on, the question I was trying to answer before has to do with the extent to which our leaders are able to provide us with safety and security. And I said, even though nobody is sure of absolute security, our leaders have not been able to provide us with optimum security. And I was trying to point out that the reason is because they have not been able to achieve an optimal level of development, which would then increase the number of stakeholders who will be interested in security, peace, and progress of the country. Now, if I can get the next question, very clearly I'll be able to respond.
Now, as you've requested, but I'm going to pause you for a while to look at some of the issues that I'm talking about in terms of where security has taken us recently. And let's just stop for a while and look at that background for just a moment.
Safeguarding the sovereign, independence and territorial integrity of the Nigerian state was the central pillar of the national security policy. This was one of the reasons behind the Nigerian Civil War. Apart from the Civil War, the nation witnessed several communal, ethnic, religious and political crises. Some of those that left indelible mark on the country include the post-independence political crisis, the Nigerian Civil War, the Metasine riot in Kano, the annulment of June 12 election crisis, the Niger Delta crisis, and the Boko Haram violence. While the nation witnessed this crisis, armed robbery, burglary, and kidnapping thrived on one hand.
Of all the governments in this country, apart from the Civil War, which was fought by General Gowon, the issue of Boko Haram has been on the forefront, has been a front burner of the national discourse.
Nigeria is a nation with ethnic and religious diversity and a very rich history of constitutional development. This diversity has posed a lot of challenges to governance and manifested in the nature of security threats over the 5 decades of Nigerians' nationhood.
We are not in 2015 yet, but the agitation for who becomes the president has taken the front burner and at the same time diverted attention from government to deliver on its promises to the people.
How did these security threats come in? Politicians are the ones that introduce this insecurity in our politics. Therefore, if I may paraphrase Alhaji Gambo Jimeta, the former IGP and NSA, who said that all our security challenges are self-inflicted, and he's not far from the truth.
Looking at the trend of security threats in the country, security experts believe that Nigeria can come out of the threats. However, government and security agencies need to take urgent steps to address the trend.
If you look at the general polity, that the polity is being heated up, is a major challenge also. So we should, as we approach our anniversary, I think it's important for people to re-examine their conscience, for people to be patriotic and think Nigerian.
When they are confronted with such security challenges, they rise above board and implement training procedures and fund the security agencies adequately.
So government needs to put a proper infrastructure in place as is obtainable in current times. Funding can be done internally as the need arises. 2, before funds are released, it should be that those funds should be released to the appropriate needs.
The problems of ethnic, religious and communal conflicts constitute a serious threat to national security, and they are rooted in politics. Deliberate effort needs to be done to transfer ethnic loyalty to national loyalty. Any solution to the present security situation must consider these facts.
So, Professor, that is what I was trying to talk about in terms of the trend of security threats that we've seen in recent times. They have continued in spite of everything that's being done. How do you propose a way forward?
From the response I gave to your first question, it is clear that most security challenges are actually developmental challenges. Now, Boko Haram insurgency, just like the Niger Delta insurgency, did not start overnight. So that is why one will not be surprised that even though the government has done the right thing by declaring a state of emergency and by flooding the area with military personnel, but it cannot, that could not end it overnight. Why government will continue to flood the place with military, to do all it can with internal resources and external assistance to flood the place and flush out the insurgents, it could not end overnight. Remember that despite the might of America, insurgency is still going on in Afghanistan. Insurgency is still going on in Iraq. The point I'm trying to make is that the efforts of government must be commended in terms of declaring states of emergency and trying to flood the place with soldiers and whatever, but it cannot end overnight. In the meantime, while they are doing that, they should continue to make efforts at meaningful development. I remember about a year ago or so, or even less, the federal government started what they call Amajiri School, and they asked me what I thought of it, and I said, well, it's a good idea, but it should have started 20 years ago. So similarly, efforts now, they may not show reward of fruits, but they will, at the end of the day, make a difference 5, 10, 20 years from now. That is, at the same time, the government is doing what it can do operationally, militarily in that place. It should also think ahead in terms of meaningful development.
All right, thank you so much, Professor, for sharing your insight.
It's not an overnight affair.
Right, we hear that, and I'm going to thank you for sharing your insight with us here on the News at 10. I've been speaking with a professor of criminology and a former lecturer of the Ahmadu Bello University, Professor Femi Odekunle. We've been discussing security in the nation as it is, and as we celebrate 53 years of independence. When the News at 10 returns, Central Bank of Nigeria takes campaign on financial inclusion to secondary schools. That's on business news. Please stay with us.
When searching for a good bank, you have to be very discerning, so you don't get one thing and miss out on others. Well, your search is over at First Bank. We offer a variety of products and services made with you in mind. From flexible loans, easy access to cash, bill payments from anywhere in the world, to savings for the little ones. Make that switch today. Contact us to learn more about the many products and services we have designed for your convenience. First Bank, truly the first.
As an MTN Platinum Plus member, you deserve no less than an exclusive experience. That's why we created the MTN Platinum Plus Lounge at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, where you can relax, connect, and refresh in between flights.
Your attention, please. This is the final call for LTU flight.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Meet Swifty, moves at the speed of light. Tweenie is always there to save the day. Trust stretching to be ever ready for the twists and turns. Vision with super powerful eyes that see everything. Meet the big boy, the defender of the oppressed. Boys and girls, the Indomitables are coming back.